Well, let's get more on this now with royal commentator Richard Fitzwilliams, who joins us now from London. Good to have you with us, Richard. We know this book has been described as explosive. There are fears that it has the potential to damage the UK monarchy. Do you believe it will do that?
I do think it will be damaging to the monarchy because so much of it, the extracts were released early and they've gone worldwide. And Harry has given a series of interviews, he's still giving them in the United States, and some of the material in that has again been explosive. It isn't only his father, King Charles, and his brother, Prince William, is also now launched an attack on Camilla, the Queen Consort. And this is something that King Charles will take very, very personally. The idea that Harry is absolutely certain about this, and indeed, despite a remarkable lack of actual evidence produced, he believes, and Meghan believes apparently, that whilst they were senior working members of the royal family and the press colluded to essentially drive them out of the country. It's that bad, and it's, as the relationships are concerned, it's, I have to say, pretty terrible. It will damage the monarchy. Also, I think, among young people, but not so much in Britain. It's in the United States and the wider world that they are looking to have sympathy, which certainly isn't evident in the polls here, quite the contrary.
Yes, that seems to be one of Prince Harry's central claims, that it's not only the tabloid press that individually go and attack Meghan and himself, but it's the actual press secretaries of his own family members, of his father and his brother, that are doing the leaking to damage Prince Harry's reputation. Do you think there's any truth to that? Because Prince Harry certainly seems to believe that that is the case.
Yes, but he should produce actual evidence. The only incident that I can mention that he has laid a great deal of store on is this argument about the bridesmaids' dresses before the Sussex's wedding, and whether or not Meghan, or indeed Catherine, made the other crime, what actually happened. The facts are that this, obviously, he believes has been going on for years, but it is a complete fallacy to say that the British media are an extension of the palace's public relations machine, which is what he apparently believes. The problem with all of this is that it will leave the Sussexes increasingly angry, increasingly isolated. Now the attacks that he's been making have actually spread to include his stepmother. I mean, this is something, again, that people didn't think he'd go this far. But then the book itself, with the extracts leaked, is quite extraordinary. It isn't just the way he loses his virginity or the way he experiments with drugs. I mean, that's up to him, after all, whether or not he wishes to include it. It's, for example, the irresponsibility of mentioning the second tour of duty in Afghanistan, where he was a brave soldier. He killed personally, apparently, 25 Taliban insurgents. Now, that is surely a matter of very considerable concern when it comes to security. And also, a lot of the book, from what we understand, some of it is just plain nasty. The relationship between Meghan and Catherine certainly wasn't close. They had nothing in common. But the examples given are so unnecessary, and the book seems designed to infuriate William. The assault that's described is highly regrettable, but
Richard, I'm sorry to interrupt you because we are running out of time. Can I just ask you one last question? Because we know the release of this memoir comes after a series of other public statements made by Prince Harry and his wife Meghan. We had the explosive Oprah interview and also the new Netflix series that I guess expands on what we're hearing in the book as well. well. Do you believe that at the centre of this is really Prince Harry crying out for help? It seems like he is left with no other option but to air his grievances in a public way. But I guess the question is, do you think that the relationship between Prince Harry and his family can be repaired at this point? Can the two sides come together to heal these divisions?
Sadly, the answer is definitely not. Firstly, you won't get reconciliation when you're ceaselessly attacking, which is what he's doing. And unfortunately, I think things have got to the level where there is so much in the book. You mentioned Cry for Help. Yes, he's been in therapy for 7 years, and there's no doubt that he's haunted by the death of his mother, and indeed gives, I would say, conspiracy theorists a certain amount to consider when he talks about the fact that there's still unexplained aspects of his mother's death. But there is so much in this book that seems unnecessary. And for a couple who talk about privacy and wanting it, to expose the privacy of others in the way that this does, to attack the royal family and attempt to damage it, I see absolutely no possibility of reconciliation at all.
Okay, Richard Fitzwilliams, we will have to leave it there, but it was really good to get your analysis. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.